Hey guys, how you doing? Doing good? Good. Today I'm going to talk about food, but I'm just going to use food as a context for a bigger idea. So I see a lot of people struggling, and I've struggled for many years around the idea of wanting to eat certain things and wanting to not eat other things. And this can be food, this can be wanting to give up alcohol or um, anything related to what we put into our bodies. And so many people, including myself in the past, have tried to um, fight the urges, fight the cravings, fight the desires. Um, and I mean, who is to blame us? Because we live in a world where, diets are still pushed very heavily, super rigid workout routines like insanity, which I've done many times in the past. And, there's this collective idea of if you push hard enough, if you restrict and have the willpower to not eat the foods you're not supposed to eat, then you'll be able to give them up, or you'll be able to have the body that you want to have. And I'm here to tell you that there's a different way. And instead of trying to fight your cravings and your desires, you can work with them, and you can set yourself on a path of not having the desires or cravings in the first place. But this idea of denying ourselves or fighting against ourselves and what we, crave in the moment, ends in a lot of pain, ends in a lot of struggle, ends in a lot of, juice fasting or diet for a week or 2 weeks or a month. And then, you have this period of crash where you have a inflood of calories, an inflood of like fast food or pizza or alcohol or whatever you're trying to give up or cut out or whatever. So I want to talk about a few more things around this. Sometimes in your life, your body is an intelligent tool. We don't give it nearly enough credit, not even going down the path of like how powerful our immune system is, but just even, knowing what we need in the moment, it's super powerful. So, just because, juices and fruit and vegetables, are the most compatible with the human body doesn't mean that in a specific moment, and when I say moment, it could be a night, or it could be, it could be it could be a month or 2 month or 3 month or even year period. Your body knows what it needs. You may have a very difficult year or 6 months where, you need heavy, dense food like pizza, like meat, like cheese, what have you. You may go through a period where your body, depending on your life situations, where, you're having sugar and it actually, suffices and is needed in that moment, because I want to connect this to the energetics of it and what your body does when you're in a state of restriction. So what I mean by, because at the end of the day, something like sugar, right, is not necessarily compatible, like white table sugar, even like cane sugar, is not super compatible with the human body. But say you're having, again, kind of a difficult 6 months, like the past 6 months, right? And you're at a birthday party or something, and everyone's having cake, and you authentically want a big piece of chocolate cake. By not having the cake and you wanting the cake, you're entering into this very like restrictive energy pattern, and it's actually going to do in the long run more harm than good. Versus if you just had the piece of chocolate cake, it felt good to you, and you enter into this state of allowance around the thing that you actually want, right? It totally changes your energy. It continues to put you in this mood of enjoyment, of love, um, of self-acceptance of where you're at in the moment. And the funny thing is, guys, I have a few videos on this, but like, the more you do this, and the more you allow for your desires, whether it's food desires or whatever desire it is, eventually you're going to reach a point where your body is like, enough is enough. like I've had enough pieces of chocolate cake. I've had enough pizza. I've had enough meat where I no longer want this ever again, or on a consistent basis. Maybe I have meat like once a week or once a month or a couple times a year or something like that. It's so much more beneficial to set yourself on a path towards letting go of the craving organically, and again, that starts with becoming aware of if you're overeating, or if you're eating like a ton of sugar or a ton of meat or a ton of any kind of food or a ton of alcohol. It's really about getting still with yourself and asking why. Because at the end of the day, our normal, homeostatic state of our bodies is ease. It's skinny. It's not being overweight. It's healthy. So, if you're putting more than your body can handle and it's accumulated on your body, there's always a emotional reason behind that. So it's better to go down that path. And again, it's very uncomfortable. A lot of people don't want to do this. A lot of people don't even want to, make the connection between emotions and and food and all of that. But like, it plays such a big role in it. But it's so much, and again, even though it's more uncomfortable to start going down this path, ultimately, it's so much better to do that than fight with yourself the rest of your life and trying to get rid of your cravings versus, again, organically having them evaporate, dissolve on their own, because you no longer are actually a match to, alcohol, or you're not a match to, binge eating Halloween candy, because you're so in touch with your body, you're so you're so fine with how life is and enjoying how life is, that you don't need to use heavy food as a coping mechanism, and you giving yourself the desire to have all these things, to have brownies, to have cookies, to have alcohol, to have meat, to have dairy. And again, you're no longer in resistance to those things. I think it's super powerful. Again, like, I was vegan for certain parts of my life, but I don't know if I'll ever go back to this idea of being fully vegan, because even that label is, there's a restriction energy, even if it's subtle. And again, if you're vegan, great. Like maybe this isn't for you, but even if I don't call myself vegan, like, I may never have meat ever again. But just the idea to my body, to myself, that that I wouldn't be able to have meat or dairy if, like, one day out of the year, like, I'm feeling it. Like, I rarely drink alcohol anymore. I probably didn't have alcohol for about a year, and then the other day I had like a half of a beer, and honestly, guys, like, it was one of the best beers I've had in my life. Like, it's incredible. Like, the buzz I got from the half a beer, like, it's insane. And that sounds kind of silly to people who drink, maybe because, tolerance levels and stuff, but or you would ask, like, why would you even do that? But again, it's just, honestly, it's listening to your body, and whatever is feeling good, whatever is feeling needed in the moment, listen to that and let go of this idea that you have to be rigid with it, and just like be gentle with yourself. Because again, we live in this world where like, it's all about pushing and cutting out stuff and restriction and like getting that goal weight for that wedding in like 3 weeks and like really like, panicked about it. And it doesn't have to be that way. And so many of us have a positive association around, comfort food and to rip these things out of our life, to rip meat or to rip mac and cheese or to rip dairy or to rip, all sugar out of our lives from the moment that we have the desire is often very cruel on our bodies, because we can't handle. If you've been having meat for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and all of a sudden, you want to be vegan because people are telling you to be vegan, people are telling you that it's the healthy thing for your body, and you're putting that pressure on yourself to be vegan, it's not going to end well. You're going to end up going back to meat or going back to other things that help ground your body. The kinder thing to do for yourself is to set the intention of, I want to move towards being vegan. And, give yourself a year. Enjoy the process of having less and less meat. Enjoy the process of cutting, your portions or having bigger portions and not having anything for a couple of weeks. Have fun with it, play with it. There's so many times where we put ourselves in these small boxes of like, I need to do this in a month, or I'm not, it's not worth it. But just like, give it a year, give it 2 years. And, then when you get there to being vegan or whatever it is, no sugar, no alcohol, you'll not only enjoy being there, but you'll have enjoyed the whole process of getting there. It's a much funner way to do it. So I hope this helped. Give this video a like. Tell me in the comments if you've experienced something similar or going through something similar like this. And I'll talk to you guys very soon. Thank you.